Hello everyone, I'm Faisal. So in this video I would like to share the research which I've read before about the use of Edmodo in teaching writing in a blended learning setting. So this video was made to fulfill an assignment from the critical reading course and also to share information to all of you. This research was written on April 14, 2015 by Pupung Purnawarman and Sulisya Swati and Wahyu Sundayana from the University of Education Indonesia. This study aims to find out how Edmodo as a learning platform in a blended learning atmosphere is implemented in teaching writing in combination with a genre-based approach, how Edmodo facilitates student engagement, and how students perceive the use of Edmodo in teaching and learning activities. This research used a qualitative approach with a case study design. This study involved 17 students of 11th graders from high school in Bandung, Indonesia. The data was collected through observation, document analysis, interviews, and questionnaires. The data analysis in this study begins with organizing and preparing the data, followed by reading it to get a general understanding. Then coding the data, generating a description of all the data and represent the description and themes, and interpret the data before the data be finally served. Furthermore, in the introduction, this study discussed three basic theories. First is blended learning, Edmodo, and writing. Second is students' engagement in ICT. And last is UGT, or uses and gratification theory. So, blended learning is a combination of face-to-face learning process with online learning, which aims to increase knowledge and experience. And this online learning uses the Edmodo platform. This platform is one of the latest technologies applied in language classes and has a design almost similar to Facebook but is intended for educational purposes. This platform also has fascinating features, is easy to use, and provides a free and secure online environment. According to this research, Edmodo is believed to be applicable in teaching writing through the adaptation of GBA. The GBA model consists of 4 cycles. First is BKOF, or building knowledge of the field. The second is modeling. And third is joint construction in collaborative work or group. And the last is independent construction. Next is the students' engagement in ICT theory. Student engagement is related to active attitude or participation of students with certain goals in certain domains that occur through interaction and tasks. One of the mentioned student engagement is cognitive engagement. The other two are behavioral and emotional engagement. And also the inclusion of technology is increased student engagement and is able to facilitate engagement through 2 things: meaningful interactions and assignment. There are 4 criteria for student involvement in ICT. First is working independently within groups. The second is more concerning on the work quality. The third is taking part in learning situation. And the last is seeing ICT as part of learning. The last one is UGT, uses and gratification theory. Gratification is the user feelings both positive and negative about the media they use. UGT applies to all media such as television and the internet. This theory states that people tend to use communication media based on the needs of relaxation, entertainment, fashion, inclusion, affection, sociability, and escape. That's all the basic theories in introduction. And the findings from this study found that Edmodo in teaching writing was implemented by integrating the flow of blended learning programs into the GBA writing cycle. The first flow is kick-off events, or build knowledge of field. Kick-off events are activities to introduce courses to students. This is an initial exposure to build student knowledge. Then the second flow is initial learning activities, check-in events, or modeling. This flow is an initial learning activity that begins by introducing the contents of the topic to be discussed in learning. The second flow activities are mostly carried out in offline sessions, where the instructor must be present, which is where the session is implemented in the form of group or collaborative work for discussion. And the last flow is second learning activities, check-in events, final assessment, or feedback on conclusion, so joint construction. This phase is an activity where the material is discussed and students are given assignment. Then give a final assessment to students to see whether the courses in the previous two stages have mastered or not. After being given a final assessment, the teacher can monitor the students' work by giving them feedback. So the finding of the next research are discussing the Edmodo facility for students' engagement. First, Edmodo through the notes menu allows students to work independently in the small group feature. It's intended to personalize learning where students will have their own space to study without distraction from others. And the second, it allows students to pay attention to the quality of their work. This is also a strategy for students to be able to write skillfully as part of cognitive engagement. So students understand how to do assignment and how they perceive the learning material. Third is it allows students to take part in learning situation by engaging in discussion. This activity is one indicator of the criteria for cognitive engagement. And fourth, directing students to see Edmodo as part of learning. This indicates student involvement in academic activities to enrich their school experience. Other facilities provided by Edmodo are interaction and tasks. Note menu provides opportunities for students and teachers to interact by posting something or commenting on a post. Furthermore, Edmodo through the Notes menu also facilitates cognitive processes for students in writing, because writing is not only to create a product but also involve a process. Cognitive process such as composing, arrange ideas, and publishing writings are forms of regularly thinking activity. The last finding discusses students' perception towards the use of Edmodo. Cognitively, most students see Edmodo as a new insight and learning experience, but because Edmodo is new to them, they have no clue what to do with Edmodo. In addition, most students admit that Edmodo facilitates them with the library menu where they can download learning material uploaded by teachers. This digital library is one of the features provided by Edmodo. Easy access to learning materials is one of the blended learning accommodation. Furthermore, personally, the students admit that learning write with Edmodo is easy and simple and motivates them to write. Students also agree that Edmodo gives them unlimited time and space to study, such as studying from a smartphone and studying in their free time. In addition, the students claim to be able to get access to multimedia learning materials, expanding reach including access to multimedia resources, is one of the advantages of blended learning. And there are some problems identified in this study. First is bandwidth. It's the lack of student knowledge about the platform. The second is confusion in using Edmodo. Most of the students confirmed that Edmodo was confusing because it was first time for them to meet Edmodo. And the third is incompatibility of smartphone application. Students use various media to access Edmodo such as computers, laptops, and smartphones. However, the students revealed that their smartphone access was limited. This makes it difficult to use. And the last is the lack of student responsibility for learning. Some students rely on each other in sending assignments and rarely taking online classes. So, the conclusion of this research is the Edmodo blended learning platform is implemented to teach writing in high schools by integrating blended learning programs flow into the GBA writing cycle. The application of Edmodo in teaching writing also showed that Edmodo facilitates cognitive engagement of students. More specifically, Edmodo through the note menu facilitates student cognitive engagement by first, allows students to work independently in groups. Second, allows students to pay attention to the quality of their work. Third, allows students to take part in learning situations. The last is directing students to see Edmodo as part of learning. And also, increasing students' motivation to engage and take full responsibility in blended learning will be a key in implementing successful blended learning. So, that's all the research discussion in this video. Hopefully this video is useful. Thank you for watching. See you next time.